Not only do we have an economic mega crisis happening right now, that banks are getting obliterated, but also we have Coinbase potentially using their feet and walking away. Yeah, this is not really good for US citizens. They're sick of the regulatory environment and they might be going elsewhere. I'm going to get into that. But first, I have a couple more things I want to talk about. So Biden's White House is seeking a 30% climate change tax on Bitcoin mining. 30%. Are they going to tax the military 30% for using 4.6 billion gallons of fuel each year? Probably not. Yeah, so Biden claims it's going to raise $3.5 billion in the next 10 years. That number is going to decrease because I think a lot of people are going to start wanting to go head overseas for mining, especially Bhutan. I think they're doing a green mining. They've raised about $500 million for green mining over there. So I think a lot of people are going to flee over there, flee over to Northern Europe, especially where there's less government overreach. So now let's move over to Bernie Sanders. He says that income over $1 billion should be taxed 100%. This is crazy, guys. Do you see what's kind of happening to the US? Like, guys, if you're in the US or whatever, you gotta wake up on this stuff because this isn't going away. This is gonna get much, much worse. Like, I'm even surprised. Heidi and I knew that this was, what was happening with the US was really bad back in 2017, 2018. Hence why we got out of there and we moved overseas, right? But I didn't expect things to get this bad. So with that said, with a 100% tax, you're gonna see billionaires taking themselves and their companies overseas, which will tear up the tax base, whatever, in the US. And yeah, it's gonna have talent and innovation fleeing the US even more. So now let's go over to the US banking crisis. I should say global banking crisis. So you have US President candidate RFK Jr. saying that the banking collapse is the tip of the economic mega crisis. Okay, he's saying it's a mega crisis. And you know what? I totally agree with him. Let's go over some regional banks right now after the First Republic Bank just collapsed. Now you have Pacific West down 30%, Western Alliance down 25%, Metropolitan Bank down 21%, Home Street down 15%, Zion Bank down 10%. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And not only that, I'm going to show you an infograph to prove that this is the tip of the iceberg. All right, now check out this graph really quick. Okay, so now this is from Ryan C. Altcoin on Twitter. Check this out. Okay, so you can see back in 2007, 2008, when you had all these tiny banks just get obliterated. Well, now they're working on the bigger banks to get obliterated. And guess who's going to take up that slack? JP Morgan, who just teamed up with the Federal Reserve to go ahead and buy First Republic Bank. Yes, it's all a huge consolidation of banking power. Just like in 1907. Now we have Andrew from AP Abacus on Twitter. Definitely recommend you following him. So he says Coinbase launched an international exchange. Given the US regulatory attacks, ongoing litigation, and anti-crypto political class, Coinbase begins to vote with its feet and go offshore. So here's actually from Coinbase's exact tweet right here. Today, Coinbase launched Coinbase International Exchange and will begin offering Bitcoin and ETH perpetual futures settled in USDC with up to 5x leverage to institutional clients. So yeah, they are kind of, this is in preparation for them leaving the US, in my opinion. Unfortunately, this is where I see it going because the more and more that the US government hates on crypto, the more and more companies and projects are going to leave crypto. That's why I'm saying, guys, stick up for yourselves out there. Like, you have a government run amok. Almost ending here. Okay, so you have the Federal Reserve interest rate hike, which should be today. They should raise interest rates all the way to 5.25%. And so that is the final rate during the 2004 and 2006 tightening cycle too. So that's interesting. So this could be the last one. Because you know what? Rate hikes aren't doing anything, as you already know. Inflation continues to skyrocket, banks continue to get obliterated, and it's an absolute mess regardless of what the Federal Reserve's doing, as I've been saying for years now. So now we have Balaji. So Balaji said that within 90 days, Bitcoin's going to reach $1 million just because of the banking collapse and how much the U.S. is printing currency, right? Well, now he says it could take 90 months, not 90 days. But you know what? To be fair, the whole point of him doing this was, in his own words, I may be wrong, but I'm burning a million to tell you they're printing trillions. So that's the whole point of this. I don't blame the guy. I think that's a great way to, promote himself and to get the word out as well. So hats off to that guy. I really appreciate him for, telling everybody. And I made a joke on Twitter at Sir Crypto Tips. I said, hey, you know what? Balaji's just burned $1 million to tell everybody they're printing trillions, but I've been doing that for free for years now, so whatever. Anyways, that's all I have. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.